I love the fact that every time I do this, it still asks me if I want to leave the meeting, even though I'm the one starting the live. Love it.
Well, and you can hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's saying that I don't have any sound, but I can hear you. How about now?
I can still hear you. I can still see you. Everything seems good.
Huh. Anyway, okay.
While we figure it out.
Yeah, like 20 months in. Like, what the heck? Anyway.
None of this makes sense anymore. And I mean, we are live on YouTube right now. And so while you're listening and stuff like that, again, once more, amazed that we're all still standing and upright and civilization has not collapsed on itself. And yet at the same time, technology for 20 months of bug fixes have not got their shit wired. And that's okay. I click the little box, and after when they scrub it, they're like, the amount of profanity that you're putting in your YouTube video is within acceptable limits. So we'll let you chase ad revenue. Love it. Absolutely love it. Paulie, what's up, brother?
Hey, happy Friday.
Well, that was a downer considering the energy I just used. What the hell?
Hey, I'm just getting stuff organized here. Give me a second. Come on.
Woo!
Technical difficulties.
I love it.
Boys, while we're here live on YouTube as well, thank you to you guys. What the hell just happened? We just got recognized as one of the top 29 social entrepreneurial businesses in Canada in 2020. That article was written 2 months ago. My boy Ali sent it to me this morning. He was like, dude, check this out. We got recognized as one of the top in the country. Wow. That's good stuff. And you guys are helping to make that happen. Hey, Don's here. Nicely done. And I'm just doing my usual song and dance with the quick typing on the back end. Don, what is up, my brother?
Oh, lots. I've gone and seen the world in other places.
And you're back and you're alive. That's amazing.
Yes, alive at the moment. Yep.
Yeah.
Have to wait for 2 weeks to find out, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're here. Whoever else joins us, as always, will be coming in right away. We've been live a little bit. We're just patting ourselves on the back, but let's get it started. Mitch Camage, the Savage in Business. This is the MCC Virtual Business Box Lunch, Friday, October 1st, and here comes more of our audience. And as always, I am joined by my brothers from other mothers, because Don has made himself a fixture here as well. There's my boy Matt. There's my boy Paul. There's my boy Don. Here comes our girlfriend Ashley's in the house. And hey, Justin T-Bolt, my global debt technologies brother, rocking a We the North lid. Good choice for today. Very good, sir. We salute you. Absolutely. And as always, we're here to talk about the week that was in business, stuff that pertains to small business, things that are going on in the trend. Last week, we wanted to set up the last quarter of the year. Today is literally day one of the last quarter of 2021, and stuff continues to move very, very quickly. So while I take a moment to do the finger typing, and yes, I do use more than two fingers. Once upon a time, I didn't, but I use more than two fingers to henpeck. Finish my henpecking, make sure the rest of the world can join us. We're live on YouTube. I'm going to let the panel introduce themselves. And then, as always, the theme is really simple. Stuff that pertains to small business can be local, regional, national, or international in flavor. And of course, because I'm a cruel bastard, I don't give anybody any idea what we're going to talk about ahead of time. So you're hearing people that are fantastic at their job, in their business, are experts in their field, sharing in real time what they think you should do next to the best of their ability and in the areas that they know best to help you navigate this wacky, weird, wonderful, and scary world that we have going on in business. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, let's introduce ourselves. I'm going to finish the two-finger typing, and let's get right into it, because I've got some fun stuff to talk about today. So I'm going to be kind of staring over here for a moment. Matt, you're up first.
Absolutely. Matt Hewson. I am one of the brokers of certainty on this call today. I work with small, medium-sized businesses to just make sure that things are right. Let's make sure that we can all go and rest our heads at night and feel rested. And more importantly, get up refreshed and actually excited to go into work, whether or not that's in these little boxes here or a physical presence. Thanks, Mitch.
I'm Paul Flakowski. I'm the other side of the broker of certainty, business coach. Like to make sure that those 19 steps or 19 boxes in your business are all checked out. So everything is running smoothly so that you don't become the part of the 97% that fail over a 10-year period. So you know where your issues are, you know where your problems are. Let's solve them together.
Badass.
Don Veerboom, Four Tree Coaching, serving small, mid-sized businesses throughout North America. I help these businesses figure out how to drive their sales forward. Let's make it fun again. Let's have great, exciting sales to talk about and leads and new divisions and, all the fun stuff you want to have back in your business. Let's put it back in there so it's fun and exciting and makes you money.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley McCarney. I own and operate Involvi HR. We are your small and medium business solution for anything regarding your people. So we specialize in offering managed service. So we become your HR department between 2 hours a month and 5 days a week. Or we can help you with anything else that is people related. So hope to add some value today.
Hey everyone, Justin with Global Debt Technologies. We developed software for the debt industry. We've got 2 platforms out, DebtorX, and as of November the 30th, our platform Creatum will be live. DebtorX matches you, the company that is owed cash, with the organizations that can help collect. Some exciting news. Our original projections came in, we were expecting a 5% liquidation on collections within the first 30 days of assignment. We've actually gone on average 14.5%, so almost triple what our original projections were. Creatum is a do-it-yourself debt restructuring platform, which will revolutionize the way that consumers engage with and pay their creditors. It is going to be a game changer.
Mm-hmm. That right there. So you know what? Let's do that to start the first quarter off anyway, because we actually went live very quickly in our other organization, patting ourselves on the back a little bit for recognition that we didn't realize happened just 2 months ago. So there's my boy, Justin. Don, what do you have for wins this week, this month, this quarter? What do you have to start us off? Let's start with something fun, something nice, and what we're proud of.
Well, I was proud of the last 3 days. I worked a trade show in the US with one of my clients and just helping them get out there and connect with people, find those customers. They've got 6 presentations to make in the next week. They've got 3 or 4 major companies that are interested in maybe licensing their product. It's all from just communicating and getting them out there and talking and pressing the flesh. Unfortunately, not as much elbows as should be, but we had some great activity and it was a wonderful win.
Badass. Ashley, what you got? Something to start the last quarter of the year off. What you got?
Yeah, we're actually launching 3 new services. So we're super excited to launch recruitment the Involvi way, and we're launching a learning and development platform. And we're also launching a benefits package that focuses on health and dental coverage for small and medium business. So super excited to close the year out with some new things for our clients. So that's where we're at.
Polly, Matt, what you got?
Got 2 more clients signed up, bringing them on. They realize they have some holes in their business and, definitely need some help. And then with existing clients is looking at, brainstorming, being creative, putting that, stepping back a bit, putting the music up, having a drink, and, let's put the easel up. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're going. Let's see where we can make a little bit more income with less time, or it's on the same path that you're already at. So it's been exciting for the past couple of weeks, just getting into that creative space too.
Badass. Matt?
I'll say this. I've been very grateful to finally move the needle with a close friend of mine that is going to become a client of mine, ours, with some succession planning. And I think in the world of today, that's a big gap that needs to be filled because there's so many family-run businesses here in Alberta. And I'm excited to kind of move that needle with them and whether what could be an interesting conversation over the next couple of months.
Outstanding. Hey, our other organization as well, and everybody here on this call today also comes from that family as well. Syndicate, our other tribe, our business social networking mastermind for, well, there's 900 people in our community. There's almost 100 tribe members inside of our tribe. Somehow, some way, didn't realize this, we got written up in an article by a startup-based magazine online and handled through TechCrunch, Crunchbase, sorry, as one of the top 29 social entrepreneurial companies in Canada in 2020 over at Syndicate. And that's working with incubators, startups, etc. So we got a pat in the back and an attaboy and a giant thumbs up in the digital space for helping and working with business owners as well. And that's a pretty nice feeling. My other partner, he never joins us on this call one of these days. Ali, I know you watch every week, you bastard. You got to get into this room as well. But he messaged me just this morning and said, dude, check this out. The article was 2 months old. I'm going, how did we miss this? So, hey, to everybody in this room as well, because you're essential to that, thank you so much, because that is a huge, huge accomplishment. Get recognized from a national standpoint. Oh, that feels good. That warms the cockles of my heart. And those things have been damaged for years, according to my cardiologist. So, hey, anything that makes things a little warmer in my chest, pretty good to go with. So on that note as well, everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. I click the button that says this is not appropriate for children. We're fine. It's okay, right? It's good. We're good to go. So I'm going to set the table for all of our topics today. So you can, because what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to pick the first one we're going to talk about instead. So first topic of the day is business supports. What's available and what business owners need or should be looking for in their business. And here's some starters, some thinking points on what you guys got today. We got incubators, startup organizations, places to go for teaching or peer and mentorship. Second one, and it's something that comes up regularly as part of the theme what we discuss here, lead indicators in business. We're seeing some lead indicators right now, changes in labor, changes in material availability. We've talked about that ad nauseum on here, supply chain problems, and the way online spend is starting to move. And even in Canada, so if we just stay regional, national for a moment, changes in the way the big five banks are providing or small business owners have access to credit and lending right now. That's starting to shift and change. And in some instances, it's gotten tighter. And in weird ways, it's gotten even easier. Okay. The third one for today is people, the people capital that we've got inside of there. You're going, well, isn't that part of the business and the indicators as well? We've talked about people capital before, but when we look at what's going on from a labor shortage as an indicator, businesses need to think laterally, right? So some of the ideas I'm going to drop out there, things like interns, students, work share programs, etc. What should businesses be looking at as we navigate the last quarter of 2021 and move into 2022? And of course, we're coming to the biggest retail season, or it used to be, in our last quarter of the year. So changes in sales, right? We're watching people change the way they spend money. And some of those can be online purchasing. Some of them can be pushes to more local. In fact, local regional governments are starting to put incentives in place to advertise that you're local and to have that reach local, that we are here in our marketplace in our community. So there's your notes. So business supports, indicators right now telling us whether things are going great or not going away. I know we got an awful lot of things to be talking about in there. What's happening on the people side of things? So many articles. I've got multiple tabs open right now. And right before I come into this, I do a bunch of research. I look at the kind of topics I want to look at. And then I let Mother Google and other news resources tell me what's happened in the last 24, 48 hours. And you get one article that's like small business not using the best tools to battle labor shortages. Next one down, small business owners can't afford to ignore their employees. And the next one down, small business popularity soars as unprecedented surge in support boosts independence and turns fortunes around. Okay. Student competitions, businesses helping students. So which is it? Businesses are terrible with their employees. Businesses are great with their employees. I don't know which one it is, but I want you guys to talk about it because Mother Google right now is certainly parsing its information, a little bit of clickbait going on, just to make sure that we're going to comment or think, oh my God, in outrage, or oh my God, in elation and joy. So business supports, what should we look for? What should businesses know about? Lead indicators, what should we watch for? What makes us cautious? What gives us hope? People, how do we change the way we work with the people inside of our businesses? And sales changes. Used to be the biggest retail time of the year. That might not necessarily be the case anymore. What does that mean for the way we're spending money and the way people are spending money so business can adjust with it? So there's those four. Ashley, I want you to pick the first topic. What's our whole panel going to start diving in on? Which one of these four are we going to tackle first?
I don't know. I know, right?
I thought you would have taken the layup with people capital, but hey.
Yeah, but there's a lot of different discussion. Okay, let's go people capital. Sure. But I don't
Done.
want to be the first to weigh in.
Oh, okay. Okay, Ashley has to go last. There we go.
Okay.
Ashley's going last. The human capital expert's going to go last, so everybody else can screw this up royally first, and then she'll come in and be like, "I've got this. Relax. Put your
Because
shit
that's
away."
what we do, right? We
Right?
come reactively and we help. So
No, you did it all wrong. Let me fix it for you. All right, people capital. Businesses are really, now I'm going to make a blanket statement right now so that you guys have got someplace to start. Hopefully it'll actually start an argument. Companies are either really great or really terrible. There's nothing in the middle. Ha! There we go. I polarized the statements. There's no middle ground. There's no gray area in the middle. There's only black or white. That's it. But businesses have got to do something different with their people. You got to learn to govern, lead, manage them, pay them differently, whatever else it is. You got some stuff. There's ideas like interns, students, work share programs, etc. But people capital is getting its ass kicked the last 18 months. Doesn't matter how good the business is. We're just not doing good enough. So what do businesses have to do differently so that they maximize their people? Oh, you just want more work out of me. Yeah, I do. I really, really do. But how do I take better care of you? So with that in mind, panel, what we got?
Oh, can I lead on this one? I had this
Go for it.
conversation yesterday. So as we grow in our organization, we're setting out what we want the people that work within our group to experience. I'm talking to a really good friend of mine yesterday. The company he works for is shit. Bottom line, they treat their people like shit. They sent out an email that said, during the pandemic, we had record-breaking profit. Thank you, because all of our executives took home high-figured bonuses. The very next email said, you didn't hit triggers, everybody loses their bonus on the floor. So what do you think that triggers? That triggers him going, well, here's a big fat fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coming in at 7:30 anymore. I'm going to log in. My shift starts at 8:30. I'm logging in at 8:30. My shift is over at 5. I'm logging out at 5. Gets an email. Why aren't you logging in early anymore? Why are you leaving right at 5? Oh, because you work from home. Normally you were logging in to check things. Why aren't you doing that anymore? So they threaten the jobs. They threaten this. They pay them like shit. The corporate culture is absolutely atrocious. And then they come back and wonder why they're not getting an extra 8 hours a month out of them, 10 hours a month, 10 hours a week. And wonder why, he got to a point where he actually took a leave of absence for 2 months because the company drove him to that point. It's all about how you handle your people, especially now. Do you have to force somebody to come into the office? Well, I mean, we're all working virtually, right? You don't necessarily have to force them to come in. You don't have to necessarily force them to, run through the gauntlet. Who cares if they take an extra 5-minute washroom break at home or if they're folding their clothes, right? And I think that for us anyways, with our culture that we're wanting to build and we're building internally, it's about the parents that work that don't have to feel guilty if their kid's sick. It's about, paying them a livable wage. That's one of the elements, making sure that the benefits package makes sense, right? Wait, great, we offer benefits, but it covers nothing, right? So great marketing tool, we offer benefits, but the benefits don't do anything. So I know just as we're growing, I'm looking at some of the companies that I've worked for in the past that treated us well, some that haven't treated us well, and the things that I'm hearing from people out there. And we want to have, the culture that people, while they might not be happy all the time, they're not going to leave, right? They're going to be the 30-year employees that go, you know what? And they've got your back. Hey, we're a little short-staffed. Can somebody come in? So anyways, I had that conversation yesterday and it got pretty heated.
All right. Who else got the take? got the hot take. Come on. Really?
I'll jump in. Sure. Yeah, just, I think business owners are doing a bad job on it in general. There's some that do a good and maybe figure it out. But for the most part, I think they're not adapting quick enough. I know if they're not reading the news, whatever, is becoming and going to be a greater shortage of people in the next few years that you have to adapt to. There's going to be a competition to get people in. You have to sort of dine and romance your people into the company and offer things just to entice them to get the good people you want. So it's not going to be the rosy days where people just love to have a job. They're going to, like Justin says, they want to see that some reasonable benefits, some, maybe payback and bonuses or share the wealth or at least some appreciation. And when we don't do that, we're going to be in big trouble. So I think there's a new wave coming, and it's caused by a number of things. Maybe say too many easy benefits out there that people don't need to work or whatever, but there's a shortage of people, and it's all over. Where I was last week in the States, I sat down with a guy, had a drink at the bar, and he's telling me, I run a plant that has 1,000 workers in it, and I need 150 more workers. I offer benefits. I offer $750 signing bonuses. I give them another $750 if they stay 90 days, and I give them all these things, and I'm short 150 workers. I cannot find them. It's like, how does the economy move forward when you can't find the right workers? And it's going to get worse. So wake up. You're going to have to do something to find and retain your people that's maybe different than you did in the past.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, Don, on the worker side of things, I know a number of temp agencies in the local area here in Edmonton. And, if I needed a receptionist or a frontline laborer or something that was very low skilled, and I needed it tomorrow, I could have somebody if I needed it tomorrow. And it's taking them 3 months to place some frontline workers right now. And that's unheard of. And so whether it's in the US or in Canada or other places around the world, right, the results of this pandemic and, some of the income support programs, we'll blanket it with that are available, are really hindering that entry-level workforce opportunities. And I think to what Justin said and what you said, Don, I think the owners and the decision makers at every organization need to listen to their staff and need to listen to the marketplace, and don't put out things that you think are a good idea because you're in a totally different place, mindset, and probably spot in your life that different things matter to you that are mattering to the people that are working for you. And so you don't have to give them control and do everything that they ask for, because you still have to tie it back to the business. But ask them, have conversations, have fireside chats, do stay interviews, get to know your team and what they value. And maybe it's not a health and benefits plan. Maybe it's a health spending account. Maybe it's an awesome holiday party every year that you get to travel. And that's all they want once we can travel, right? And so really start thinking outside the box. I'm also seeing individuals that are setting up buses for the staff that are either overnight or, if they're slightly out of town for those shifts, they'll say, meet us at this parking lot. We'll pick you up on a bus. We'll bring you to the office. You can work, and then we'll bring you back to your car if, there isn't bus routes around the office or if parking is limited, right? Little things like that are a small investment, but make your organization more accessible and more willing to work and almost have a better culture because you're going above and beyond with something that's totally new and different to the marketplace. So it's about thinking outside the box and actually listening to your staff and checking that ego as a leader.
Yeah, I think that above and beyond level just went up here. Now above and beyond is much higher. Like wake up.
Totally. But it doesn't have to cost. That's the thing.
No,
People think above and beyond is money, and I don't have money. And, this pandemic has really put my business at risk. But there are so many opportunities that are free. And it just takes that leader to lean in a little bit more and have those authentic conversations and get away from behind their computer and walk around and talk to your people. And I think the organizations that are doing that are in a much better place than the ones that are still thinking traditionally.
Yep. Great ideas, Ashley.
Mm-hmm. Matt, Paul, Shannon, comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to something that Ashley said, because I've heard this. As you know, I just got off of running a federal campaign for the election and had so many people coming into our office saying this thing about the income support and how people are just more happy to be sitting at home living off of the government. A lot of those people didn't know that those income supports have been cut back to about $1,200 a month right now, which nobody can live off of. But my biggest frustration with that is not that it's not true in some cases, because of course it always is. There's no such thing as a blanket statement, Mitch. But I have a 19-year-old daughter and she wants to work. She got hired by one company. She got hired under the premise of full-time employment. They actually even asked her in the interview, now you're going to stay, you're not going to go and do this, you're not going to do that. We're having so much trouble with turnover. And this is a food services industry job. Like, you know, I don't want to say the name of the company, but it's one of those, you know, standalone fast foody kind of places. But it's based on salads. I will tell you that. Anyway, she had a gallbladder flare up and actually had to take 3 days off of work. She came back to work and all of a sudden she's only getting 2-3 shifts a week. So she's struggling. She tells her boss she's struggling. Nothing changes. She goes and finds a second job. She tells her boss she's found a second job. He has a colossal goal to say to her, well, all you had to do was ask for more hours. My response is, sir, all you had to do is honor your employment contract with her and give her full-time hours. She came in, she's been doing her job. She's every time you call her, she's there for you. You know, she has one medical incident. And then the second company that she got an offer of employment with, they told her, yeah, we're going to hire you. And then they just ghosted her. They just didn't send the paperwork. They just, you know, so there's another side to this too. And I don't know what's going on with some of these outlets. Maybe it's because they're big boxes or whatever like that. But when you treat your employees like they're less than, I don't want to use the S word, but you know, when they're less than unpaid staff that are being forced to do the work, you know, there's a flip side to that too. And now she's struggling. She had to try and get through 1 month on $500. Fortunately, she has a boyfriend who's got a good job and that she is living with. So he was able to fill the gap, but how many can't and don't? So, especially in the retail and the food services industries, I think so much work needs to be done and they need to stop laying back on their excuse of, oh, they're Serb, so they're more happy. No, you're treating your employees like shit. And that's why they don't want to come back to work for you.
Yeah, I think if I can chime in, I agree with the statement of you're going to be known for what you were pre-pandemic. And if your culture wasn't good, people will talk because more people are allowed to talk nowadays, especially with the soapboxes being virtual. But it's also going to be about the day-to-day. And again, both Dawn and Ashley have highlighted that to say, it's not going to be about just here's the money. It's going to be about, can I do what I want to do or what is the new value proposition, right? Like I purposely put this background on because many people want that glass tower corner office, you know, walking in with a nice briefcase and all that. And I've said it here before that value proposition is over because I don't want an office in a glass tower. I want really good Wi-Fi, good lighting, and a green backdrop. Like if that was an employee package to me, like for $50, you give them a ring light and a green screen, they'd be like, oh my God, they get me, right? Like that to me would be, and you know, put a virtual background. Hey, as an employee, here's your virtual background. That to me is like those key takeaways that from a culture standpoint would be like, this is awesome. I'm part of the team. Because it's not about like your 3-layer jacket with your logo on it anymore, right? It's going to be about, do I have the backdrop? Am I allowed to use the brand? And I think that will be one of those key takeaways that many people will look for.
So Matt just hit it, and to close this topic out so we can hit the next one, from everybody else on the panel, I want one takeaway. What's one other thing we should do right now? What's one other thing we should do right now to increase employee satisfaction, employee engagement, or get the people side of things working really well for our business? Screw the rest of the world. You're talking to other business owners out there right now. What's the one other thing they should be doing right now to get their stuff wired so that their people are the ones that are either becoming happy, staying happy? What do we got?
I think it's not one thing, but it builds on what Shannon and Matt said, is manage perception. At the end of the day, perception is reality. Your brand perception is going to dictate the kinds of candidates you bring in and the length of time they stay with you. And at the beginning of the pandemic, when a lot of operations just reacted and shut down and laid off all their staff, the staff are remembering that. They're remembering how you acted, how you forecast, and how you plan. And they're looking at that in terms of stability. And that is dictating whether they want to come work for you or not, and whether they stay with you. So offer hybrid where hybrid is available, because if you're mandating in the office and hybrid is possible, they're also leaving. So those are my two pieces.
Paul?
Creative flexibility. I think that, that still goes along with what Ashley is saying is, why can't you bring ideas to your workers? If, we can get groceries delivered to our house, maybe it's helping them or showing them that so that they can spend more time at home. It doesn't necessarily have to be so work related. It can be life related. Hey, I found a great deal in Mexico, for those that want to go away. Like, it's bringing other things back and treating it more of a community rather than a separation. And, we're starting to see that a lot more. It's not the top anymore. Everything's flattening out. There's a lot more contract. We're starting to see a shift, the beginning of a shift for pay by the hour to what can you get done, and I don't give a shit how many hours or how less it takes as long as it's done. So we're starting to get that shift from, wealth or esteem is money. It's going to be esteem is time. How much time do I own? How much time do I have to do what I want so that I don't have to be in the glass office? I can have the $50 background in light and be somewhere else in the world. So we're seeing that shift, right? And socially, we're starting to see that as well.
Don, Justin?
I'd like to see more assessment and training of the sales managers and supervisors. So often we just put up with their poor behavior and their poor assessment of people and how they treat them. And somehow we say, because they're the manager, what can I do about it? Well, you can either train them or fix them or get them out. And maybe in some cases, that's the owners of the business. You got to assess your own HR, emotional skills, your EQ. Are you any good at being that? If not, get some help.
Justin?
Listen. That's bottom line, is just listen. You can hear where your problems are starting to happen. And rather than being reactive, be proactive. I think we've all touched on it. The things that we can do as business owners to support our staff, a trip to Mexico, a giveaway to Vegas, a, $50 backdrop, order them skip the dishes. Not necessarily skip the dishes, but order them food for lunch. You used to do a lunch, get everybody on a Zoom call, do a skip, do something for them, and listen, show your support, because at the end of the day, without your staff, you could have the best business in the world, but if you don't have the right people running it, it means shit.
And it could be something as simple as a handwritten thank you card. That goes a long way. How many times do you get a pat on the back for what you're doing and a good job? That's huge. So
all right, let's tie this off in the best business strategist fashion possible, and then we're going to drill the next one. We heard some fantastic stuff here. 1, let people go home and work from there if they want to. 2, consider the way you compensate people, not just time is money. And 3, considering our tax code as it stands right now, I don't know if I can afford to give people more money. You know what you can always afford? Another tax break. You know what gets you a tax break? Promotional crap. Go buy gift cards for groceries and give those to your staff. You're going to write that off on your taxes. Woo! Don't give people another $2 an hour that's going to net them $1.17 out of it. Spend $2 an hour buying them groceries instead and write that off at the back end. You know what you do to people's morale if you buy them their groceries? And let them work from home and say, just get the job done and I'll keep paying you for your work, not for your hours. What would that do to your employee engagement and retention? I think it's better than what you're currently going through right now, right? All right. Toss that one out the window. Business supports. Everybody's running around. Everybody's lonely. And the one that we talk about, again, no COVID, no politics, but funny how these all go hand in hand with a lot of the structure and the challenges we see right now. We are in the midst of the next wave of COVID. We're seeing these massive spikes. We're seeing hospitals being flooded. We're seeing COVID-related deaths, ICU beds being, I was just going to say attendance. Attendance is not the right word. Nobody is voluntarily choosing to go to an ICU bed. It's like, oh, I wonder which seat's open. Not happening. Okay. You're going to the ICU because you're sick, and more people than ever before are going because of COVID. Now, because of that, businesses have to change the way they support. What is going to the ICU have to do with how these business supports and et cetera are going to be working for us, et cetera. Well, we just touched on it from the people side, from the people capital, et cetera. So what do we do to give people the opportunity to come away? Because the other part that touches on supports has to do with mental welfare, emotional welfare, the psychological and the psychic welfare that we've got, and the physical welfare of the people that we've got that are going to be working for us as well. So you can send them home, you can give them the sick time they need, all these other good things. What supports do we need to give businesses and business owners? And more importantly, what supports should business owners be aware of? Because we're getting overloaded. And what is the biggest indicators that's coming with everything that's going on with the spike in COVID cases and the run on ICU beds at hospitals? The one we're not talking about is the commensurate increase in suicides. That is a welfare issue. And in Canada, you are legally obligated to help take care of the welfare of the mental well-being of your employees. So, supports for your business. What do we do, and where should business owners look for the kinds of things that they're going to need to keep the environment working really well, still touching on people capital, but helping businesses and business owners, more importantly, take good care of their people, but support themselves as business owners too. Because business owners are people too. They're employees of their own company. And, well, when the buck stops with you, it's a little hard to stay upright all day, every day, all the time, the environment we're in. So heavy lifting, but some good thinking, solution focused. All right, peeps, what we got?
I would say number one, going back to what Justin said, is listen, right? Listen to your staff, understand, ask them how they're doing. That can go a really long way, number one. And if you're actively listening rather than, hey, how are you, as kind of a general question, then that will give you a lot of insight because you'll get to know your people and you'll get to read their face. In addition to that, there's a ton of experts that will gladly come into your organization and do a lunch and learn. There's employee family assistance programs. There's free supports through some benefit programs. There's a lot of different professional help out there, but there's a lot of intangible things you can do as well. So I think the general community around mental health in the workplace has expanded exponentially in the last 18 months, let alone the last 5 years. And so the resources are out there. It just might take a leader a little bit of initiative to find it and bring it in and show that you're engaged in it too. As a leader, it's important, even if it's optics, attend all the lunch and learns, attend all the webinars, be an active participant in what's going on in your business so that you have a touch on what's being said and what's being communicated.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Certainly second all the employee assistance programs. Like you can get some nice professional add-on, bolt-on to your employee benefits program where they go. Some recent surveys, when they just surveyed just general workers, there's something in around 40 to 50% are having some emotional, mental challenges right now, be it the stress of working at home, be it the stress of their kids going to school or at work or whatever. There's just so much additional stress happening right now. They need to be able to talk to somebody about that. And it's not always the boss who's good at understanding and listening. So, for a few bucks a month, you can get an employee assistance program where they get to talk to a psychologist or a money manager or, somebody else that can maybe help to take them through it and see how they can work through their issues. Like give them a hands off kind of piece that is private and that you can give them and recommend. So maybe you got to look at that as part of your employee benefits.
I'll say this, just call in Volvi. Like I'm certainly not the expert in the room for that, coming from hospitality back in the day. Like there was very little, I was one of those employers to be like, what do you mean you can't work 18 hours today? Of course you can, right? So know your role, I think, right? Like Justin said, listen, I subscribe to that, but more importantly, act. Because like if you listen, yes, that will help. But if you don't do anything about what you've just listened to, then they're gonna again feel devalued or whatever it may be. So yeah, first call the professionals that know more, and then not only listen but act upon what you've just listened to.
I think
In
for the
my
business
business-
owner, it's
Sorry,
always,
go ahead, Paul.
for the business owner, it can be lonely because it's lonely at the top, or when you're going through, you're an entrepreneur, right? We're in our heads all of the time. We're constantly focused on tasks that we have to do. We're constantly focused on bringing more sales in the bottom line. And we don't have a focus more on what is out there for us. Is there a business incubator to help me get to that next step? What network or social group is available? Are there grant programs to help me out with my growth? There are grant programs that help, marry students and businesses, so you can take some of that burden of income off your shoulders and help the students getting a foothold or a start on that side. There's fractional professionals that you can hire on contract. There is virtual assistants where it's the marrying of, people that want to have their kids at home, can't afford daycare, but they can still work from home within the hours that they have. So maybe it's not traditional business hours. Maybe they're working early in the morning and late at night. So there is something that can be done to, solve the problem for both sides. So let's broaden our horizons as business owners as well and see what's out there.
Is it okay now? Sorry, Paul. So in my business, I actually don't really have employees. I'm looking at taking my first employee on starting next month, but for the most part, I work with contractors, and but you still work with them on a daily basis. I always find that doing fun things, just making that intentional time. Some of my consultants that I work with actually are on other sides of the globe, and that's so we can plan times. I know we have Zoom fatigue, but we do have the benefits of technology. So if we can't be in the same room together, we can still plan little events where we can get together and just have some casual social time. Mitch with Syndicate has done that for us a few times, and everybody always comes away feeling more refreshed and happy, and and you get to know each other on a different level. So that's kind of a fun way that I like to use to check in with people. I, of course, obviously prefer getting together and having a party, but sometimes you just can't do that. But if you can, have a party. People love parties. But having that intentional time and making sure that it's not just always business.
I'm going to go back to listen. Listen to people, listen to fellow business owners. Paul, I think you said it's lonely at the top, whether you're a solopreneur, whether you've got a group of people or not. We don't want to talk politics and COVID, but I mean, let's be honest, a lot of that stuff weighs heavily on people. We've had to pivot over the last 20 months. There's that word again, Mitch, pivot. March of last year, we had everything changed. Everybody's had to have different aspects. Maybe you're somebody that is so used to being around people and now you're secluded working from home. Well, as a business owner, we should be checking in. How are you? Not just how is your day? And Ashley, to your point, I think it was, how are you doing? Truly understand. And if they're struggling, what's 4 hours going to cost you? Take the afternoon off. Mitch, to your point, buy a gift card. Because I think that at times, we overlook that. And are we getting productivity from the employee during that 4 hours when they're stressed? Are they, at a point where, there could be suicidal thoughts? And I'm again talking personal experience with friends that are going through this right now. It's when we take the opportunity and we give the resources or we offer the support, it's amazing what happens, it's amazing how that little outstretch of a hand to say, I'm here to help you, can go a long way. And it can change it could save somebody's life, but it can change the perspective on your business. You could come across as a complete asshole, and then you do something like that, and that person's going to go up above and beyond to try and support you and help, because you showed that you cared, right? Especially now, there's people, again, friends, family, that are in that boat. They're used to going to work, seeing people, and they're at home alone. They don't leave their house. Note to everybody, if you have a friend that's in that situation, pick up this, not send a text message, but call. Have a verbal conversation with somebody. A text message is great. It helps keep you engaged. But a live voice on the other end of that phone, man, can that make a world of difference. So anyways, I think I went a little too deep. So just be there for people. I think I said it the other day, whatever your opinion is, have it. I support you. I respect you. I love you. Don't be an asshole. You never know what somebody's going through.
We're getting heavy today. I love it. I love it. People are passionate about this. Brothers and sisters, friends and family, final thoughts before we go to the next one? Would you just apologize, Justin? No, it's brilliant. It's beautiful. We got to watch out for each other. Don't apologize for that. Whoa, I'm going to call you out on that. We're live on YouTube, remember? Whoa, you did brilliant, brother. Nicely done. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Sold, we're out. Whew, people capital. It's tough. It's okay, right? Many of us, none of us, were prepared for what has happened over the last 15 months. It's okay. Say hi. Say I love you. Ask people how they're doing. Take care of them the best you can. And take good care of yourself, right? And otherwise, sports, find something. There is no excuse to go back to Justin's, where he's talking about this for a moment, to reach out to the people you've got there. There's no excuse to not find a resource, support, thought, organization, mentorship group. Hint, in Canada, joint syndicate. Just throwing it out there. Top 29 in the country. What? Going to the top, baby. Find somebody, join it up, get a tribe and a family around you. Get your shit wired. You're a business owner. You're a grown adult. Get it going, okay? Whew. Toss that one out the window. Indicators, leading indicators, last quarter, October 1st. Everybody's going to take some time off coming up at the end of this year. Drink a little eggnog, wrap some presents, spend some time with family. Whatever your proclivity, religious obligations, or social or personal choices, the end of the year's coming. New Year's comes. It always means that we think about what's going to happen next year, what's going on right now that people need to be watching for, that are the things they're going to be cautious about. In other words, what is the marketplace, the economy, the world telling us? And then what are the things that are telling us things are getting a little better? Indicators. Where are the markers? Where are the red lights, green lights, black lights, brown lights, blue lights? What are they telling us? What do people have to watch out for? And what should people be aware of that are starting to create some wonderful opportunities, or some of the signs of good things are going on, right? Fairly broad. That's okay. We got things like labor shortages, online spend is there, material shortages, but there's those changes in lending, changes in the way money's become available, et cetera, and the speed at which business is being transacted. That's all evolved as well. So with that in mind, shake it off, do some push-ups, and then let's do this. We got 11 minutes, our last two topics. Let's motor through this right now. Lead indicators, what do people got to be aware of? Come on, Paul.
You're going to need to understand supply chain. And, if you're the typical dude like myself, expecting to go out on December 23rd and race through the mall and pick everything up for the holiday, it's not going to happen. Either there's not going to be people that can help you from a staffing standpoint. Because again, if you look at the help wanted spaces right now, it's the really big box stores that are saying seasonal, right? Like the Canadian Tires of the world, there's like 800 active opportunities for seasonal, right? So just imagine if I'm walking in and I want to buy a Christmas tree out of a box that they have, I'm not going to get it in 20 minutes. So plan your time a little bit better. That's going to be an indicator of who has succeeded throughout the year. If they have, that 80% off seasonal sticker for all of their aged inventory, they still have summer shorts on sale out in the retail space. That's an indicator that maybe they didn't have the best of year. So you better buy up now before they may go to online. But other than that, just plan your time a little bit better, and you'll be able to see who has succeeded and who hasn't.
I'd like to think there's two things I'm noticing. The one, on the positive side, it's the power of small business owners and even general business owners, how they're moving forward. It's like a dandelion growing in the cracks in the concrete. It's amazing. With just a little bit of momentum, some soil, boom, we're coming up, no matter what the negative things are. But the other challenge, again, supply chain is becoming bigger and bigger. I think this is, when I was talking to suppliers the last week, they said, this might take to 2025 to sort out. Like, there's some issues here. One major huge truck manufacturer says we're not even taking orders for our big trucks until 2023. So if you wanted to put buy this big truck, haul some stuff around, you can't even put an order in until 2023. So, and that's projected out. They don't even know if they'll have it figured out by then. So there are some challenges out there. You got to think ahead, like Matt says, whether it's your supplies and this and that, it's not going to go away for a while. It's all complicated working together, and there's a lot of stuff to sort out. So be very careful about how you build your business, and that you've got the right materials and you have alternates and other ways to build your business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Justin, Shannon, Yulia, Paul, thoughts?
Yeah, from a macro level, definitely supply chain issues. We've got to keep an eye on oil and gas moving forward into the winter time here. There's a big supply chain issue that's happening in Europe, so that is definitely going to ripple out. Good news potentially for Alberta for hiring more oil and gas jobs moving forward. Stretching it out into late 2022, 2023, maybe a little bit earlier. We have to keep an eye on inflation. 40% of the money that was printed in the United States through M2 just through COVID. So almost, that's a lot of money that's hitting the system. We are seeing the effects of that retail, especially grocery prices and fuel prices at the pump. We have to keep an eye on, where markets are at on that side too. So really take a look at what's going on the horizon, what's associated with your business, and seeing where those disconnects may be coming. China is also starting to hoard fuel as well, and the Evergrande situation has not gone away. It's starting to ripple out a little bit where they're not paying their suppliers or their clients that they have. So it's not over. The contagion is still there, and we have to watch what's happening, right? Argentina, again, seems like every 2 years they go through that transition. So yeah, keep an eye out what's happening and see how that ripple effect might happen to affect you 6 or 12 months down the road.
My answer to this one is diversification. We have so many emerging markets that if you're not doing well in one market, you should be investing into others to create a safety net for yourself. I'm not sure who it was that coined it, but they say that most millionaires have 7 streams of income, and they're mostly completely unrelated to each other. We have a global network that we can now access. So we can find services from people all over the globe. We can hire people from all over the globe. There's definitely supply chain issues. I work in the capital markets realms as well, and I'm not going to deny. But oil and gas is making a rebound. ESG is on the rise. Watch out for the hydrogen stuff, so learn to innovate. Keep abreast of what's going on in other industries. you're a diverse human being. You've got diverse interests. Find out everything that interests you. Set up a Google alert and keep up to date on what's going into those markets. Find out if there's investment opportunities in those markets. Find out if there's expansion opportunities, because maybe you're already in there, but there's just a different way of thinking about the industry that you're in that you haven't thought about and need to tap into. We, for the most part, if we really do our research and put in the time and really truly want to invest in our businesses, we can solve our own problems.
What I would say is, building on what's been said, number one, you're going to see an uptake in when businesses pick up and business starts to get busier. You're going to see a number of postings go out. You're going to see, a lot of opportunity to change jobs, get into a career you want to get into. So if you're a candidate, follow your gut and take a leap and do what you've always wanted to do, because the opportunity is there now. And I think if you're a business, as you pivot, innovate, kind of look at different directions for your business to appeal to your customers, tie it back to a strategic plan, tie it back to where are we going and who are we as a company? Because if your vision, mission, and values and your purpose is all in line, but it allows you to pivot, it'll still speak to your current customer base and often bring in new ones. But if you pivot a hard left or a hard right away from where you are today, you're going to confuse your customers, you're going to confuse your target audience, and you may have to start from scratch, which is going to be detrimental to where you've been. So have a plan and stick to it and be nimble, and that will kind of pave the road for you and be a clear message to your target clients or audience.
Fantastic. Final thoughts? Going once, going twice, closed out. We're at 12:57. So we're not going to get into the last topic for today. That's okay. Lots of heavy lifting, lots about people, lots about welfare, health, taking care of ourselves, taking care of other people, etc., and looking at some lead indicators. So once more, shake it out real quick. Do a couple push-ups if you need to. Final thoughts. October 1st, it's going to go to do December 18th, December 21st. Heck, you might even be plowing right through December 23rd, December 24th. Take a week off, come back January 2nd. Last quarter of the year. One takeaway right now. What's the thing that finishes the year strong? I've been asking the last little bit. Once more, I want to keep getting that as the final touch point. What's finishing the year strong for you? And what should other people be paying attention to? You're going to get 20 seconds to talk. Who's up first?
I'll take 5 seconds. Do not hesitate. Either sell now, buy now, pick up the phone. Again, react very quickly in the job market or other, because if you hesitate, they're gone.
Done. Dawn, what you got?
I like to think it's heads down for the next quarter. But plan for something to give yourself a break at the Christmas time, be it a little time off or something or whatever, something to look forward to, but allows you to kind of just go, hey, I'm going hard for 90 days because it's time to make hay.
Okay. Shannon.
Be intentional. Be intentional in how you're setting up your business and how you're dealing with your business, how you're planning your business. Be intentional with the relationships in your life, whether that be employees, contractors, your family. Everything right now is going to come down to streamlined, hyper focus and intention.
Okay. Yulia, finish strong for the year. What you got?
I guess that's an expression, put metal on the pedal, right? So that's something I think I need to do personally. And, in every adversity, we can discover new opportunities. So whatever comes your way, don't treat it as, challenge. Just take a look at the different perspective. And yeah, we can all have challenges, but we can all finish the year strong no matter what, no matter any of this COVID, not COVID, whatever else is going on. So that's my perspective.
Love it. Ash?
2 things: be solution focused and always figure out the problem you're trying to solve and have a work back plan so that you still have the end goal, and that is your clarity.
Justin?
find the end goal, focus on it. It doesn't matter what's going on today, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in 3 weeks. You can't predict the future. You've got today, you've got what you're going for, and do it. Set your goals, make sure they're measurable and attainable, something that you can do, but set your goals and put one foot in front of the next and walk, run, fight, whatever the hell you need to do to get there.
Paul, bring it home.
Sales, savings, strategy.
All right. And like always, sometimes you decide to get the last word in before I close it out. We keep hearing pivot. We keep hearing sales. We keep hearing something else. We hear 7 streams of income, all this other stuff. What is this telling us? You need to do something different today than you did yesterday, and you need to do it different tomorrow than you did today, because adaptation is survivability. And how do we know this? It's what we are taught in nature. Animals that are willing to bend to the environment around them are the ones that survive most frequently, most often, and have the longest life. Right now, we are in nuclear winter for business. Get your head out of your ass, get it in gear, sell more, treat your employees really well, take good care of the people around you. When your competitors fall down, eat them, and otherwise find really good people and keep them around you too, because you're going to need relationships. We all need good relationships in life. To the panel today, there's 8 of us on here. Wow, thank you so much. October 1st to be able to push this rocket out. And as always, to bring your stuff and share this time. By the way, audience that's watching now or in the future, these people are coming in for free to give you some of their best thinking on topics that they, once again, I'm being a cruel bastard and not letting them know what we're talking about ahead of time. So to the best of their ability, they're sharing their smarts, their intelligence, and their wisdom around business and in the areas that they are strongest at to help you get further ahead. On behalf of the entire panel, Dawn, Justin, Ashley, Shannon, Yulia, thank you so much. My brothers from Other Mothers is always riding shotgun with me, Matt and Paul. Hey, it is always a pleasure to be able to share this time with you. I am the Savage in Business, Mitch Camage, your business coach. This is the MCC Virtual Business Box Lunch, October 1st. We will see you next Friday, and 2 Fridays after that, we have a very special treat for you. You're going to be watching us, as always, doing this, but Matt and Paul and I are going to be coming live from Las Vegas, Undisputed Mastery, one of the best premier boutique small market events in the world. We bring in 35 or 40 people from all over the world. We're going to be live, sweating our butts off down there, helping to revolutionize, transform, and build better business leaders. But we'll be coming from the floor of that one for Virtual Business Box Lunch. So watch for a very special one. You're going to hear grunt and groaning. You're going to hear cursing, and no, not just from the panel. You're going to hear people in the background doing their thing as well, because that's where we're really doing our job to the fullest of our ability. And of course, you'll see many of the same culprits you see here today. Why? They love coming on and being able to share their wisdom and their time like this as always. Thank you from my heart to you for being able to help the business world at large. And to the business world at large, keep coming back right here. And if you need help, there are lots of people right here on this call right now that can help you do something better with your business. It's a pleasure to share this time with you as always. We will see you next